Hi everyone, welcome to Back Care Yoga. I'm Leigh-Ann and I'll be leading you through an all-level sequence today. Just a reminder to listen to your body and honor the signals that it gives you. If I'm asking you to do something that doesn't feel comfortable or right, then listen to that and honor that. And I will be offering options as we go along. So pick the one that works best for you today. We're going to start in a comfortable seated position on the floor. You don't have to be cross-legged. Really, any way that you can sit comfortably for a few minutes is great. If you can be cross-legged, then by all means, go for it. We're going to start by closing our eyes or letting your gaze get really soft on the floor in front of you. Allow the spine to be tall and long. And start by making the transition from wherever you've been in your day until this point. Make that transition into our practice and our time together here and now. Feel yourself fully present on your mat in whatever space you're in. And as you arrive, as you make that transition from being off of your mat to your practice on your mat, begin to deepen your breath. Feel the body naturally lift up and expand out on the inhales. Feel it naturally draw in and sink down on your exhales. If it feels right in the comfort of your home, you can add a little sound to your breath. It gives the mind something to anchor onto and focus on, and can help you to breathe more deeply and fully. So if it feels right, maybe adding a little sighing or whispering sound to your breath. It's called Ujjayi breathing, ocean sounding, or victory breath. As you continue with your slow, deep breathing, with or without the sound added, take a moment to notice how you begin our yoga practice today. How do you feel physically? Is there anything in your body that is asking for attention? Is there anything that feels really good or anything that maybe doesn't feel so good? Maybe your back. Taking notice of that and then releasing those observations. Bringing your attention to your emotions, your feelings, noticing where those are at, how you're doing emotionally here and now. Notice the state of your mind. Is your brain active and firing quickly? Is there a lot of mental chitter chatter? Or are you maybe feeling a little sleepy in your brain? Just noticing. And as you release those observations, coming back to your breath, back to your spine, and that part of you that experiences all of these things and yet is none of them. That inner witness inside. Wherever you're at in your breath cycle, go ahead and exhale fully. Let it all go. Inhale, lift the crown of your head up. Exhale, let your hips sink down a little more. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, let your shoulders relax. We'll do that a few more times. Inhale, the spine gets taller. Exhale, the feet and legs get heavier. Inhale, feel the heart lift and open. Exhale, shoulders relax down. Inhale, the crown lifts. Exhale, rooting through the legs. Inhale, feel the collarbones broaden. Exhale, shoulder blades relax down the back. And you can continue to do that a few more rounds in your own head. Connecting the body to the breath, connecting the body to the mind. After your next exhale, allow your head to come forward, chin towards your chest. Keep sitting up really tall even as you do that. We're going to gently move the head from side to side. So moving slowly, you can keep your eyes closed or keep your gaze really soft and heavy. Letting the weight of your head initiate the movement and really drive the movement. Bringing your ear towards your shoulder as you come to the side. Spine stays tall and long, even as the head is super heavy. And just notice how that feels. If there's any place along that range that feels like you want to stay and hang out for a moment, then do so. Let the weight of your head, let your breath open those muscles, open the tissues with your awareness. The next time that your head comes to center, pause there again. Lift the spine, even as your head is really far, heavy forward. Lengthen and lift the spine so that you're sitting up even taller. And then allow your eyes to open, noticing the colors and the textures that you see on the floor in front of you. And finally, bring your head to center. Let your hands slide down onto your shins. We're going to do a few rounds of seated cat-cow. So with your hands anchored on the legs, the lower legs, inhale, let your gaze rise. Exhale, curl the body forward. We'll continue to do that a few more times. On the inhales, look up, arch the back. On the exhales, tuck the tailbone under, chin to chest, round the back. A few more times. Making the movement as big as you can, limited as it is by seating. Really letting the collarbones broaden, the throat open. And then letting that whole back body curl and squeeze, chin comes to chest. Bringing that to a neutral spine. Bring your hands to your thighs. We're going to actually come up onto fingertips so the elbows are wide and out. Inhale, look up, arch the back like you did before. This time as you exhale, twist it right. Look over that right shoulder, come forward any amount. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, curl and twist. We'll do that 2 more times. Really enjoying that twist, side to side. The body bows forward towards the floor, only as much as feels right for you today. As you come up into your neutral spine, let the arms sweep up. We're going to easy twist to the right, so just let them sort of wave down wherever they do. Inhale, lift, lengthen, come to center. Exhale, take it left. We'll do that 1 more time on each side. Again, just enjoying that twisting sensation and enjoying that feeling of letting the body wake up and warm up. Inhale, lift it up. Let the hands stay together above your head now, palms together, and just pause for a moment here. Remembering those sensations that we experienced before, the crown of the head lifting, the hips rooting down, the heart opening, and the shoulders relaxing down the back. Cactus arms out to your sides, elbows are wide, fingertips up. And then finally, let your hands come all the way down. Go ahead and switch the position of your legs, bringing the opposite leg in front or on top. Again, if you're not sitting in a cross-legged position, then adjusting so that this continues to stay comfortable. Hopefully you're still able to access these movements even if your legs are in a different shape or different position. We're going to add some shoulder rolls now. So start by bringing the shoulders back, up to the ears and forward. We'll do that a few times. Imagine that you're tracing lines with, or circles rather, with your shoulders. So if you had a pencil right here, how big of a circle can you trace on either side? This is the movement and the shape that we tend to come into in modern lifestyle, but it's not optimal for the body. So we're going to let it be for a moment. We're going to let the body kind of mimic what happens to it in modern lifestyle. And then we're going to reverse that, drawing the shoulders up to the ears and then down the back. So several times tracing the circles with both shoulders in the opposite direction from what you did before. This time rolling them up and back. This is more optimal for the body and more optimal for our anatomy over time. So if it feels more awkward than the first one did, that's why. And just inviting our bodies to return to the best alignment for us. It's a little bit different for every person. Just feeling that movement of the heart opening. Letting the shoulders come to stillness, letting the spine be long. Inhale, take those shoulders straight up to the ears. Let it go down. Do that again. Add your breath a few more times. Inhale, draw those shoulders straight up to the ears, and then exhale, let it go. One more. Good. Allow the arms to rest by your side now. Sit the spine up really tall. Maybe wiggle a little bit through the hips. Side bends, taking that right and left. So our arm comes over the ear, allowing the hand that's on the mat to support your weight. Feeling that wherever you do. You may feel it in the shoulders, in the neck, in the back. You might really feel it in the waist. I tend to feel it a lot more down into that waist area close to the hip. So just experiencing the sensation wherever you're getting it from. Maybe noticing if you're getting a little closer and closer to the floor every time you do this. As we wake up and warm up, the tissues can stretch further. So just being aware of that. The next time that you come to the right, we're going to hold it there. So sink down onto that left elbow as far as feels comfortable. And once you've come to that lowest place that feels good, that most sunken down spot, pause there and really let the body soften and melt. Let your right ear relax down towards your right shoulder and trace a huge circle with your left arm. Slow, full range of motion. Imagine that your fingertips are pencils or markers. And again, you're tracing the biggest circle that you can with those fingertips. Reverse direction, circle the other way. The body is continuing to soften, maybe sinking closer to the floor, maybe not. Just allowing that right ear to really drip towards the right shoulder, allowing your head to be really heavy, soften the neck. The next time that your arm comes back behind you, hold it there. Open your palm to the ceiling and allow the weight of your arm to start to open the chest. Reach those fingertips straight up to the sky. Let that pull you all the way up to center. Take it to the other side. Finding that place that feels good on that left elbow, sinking towards the floor as far as feels comfortable. When you find your spot, let the head get heavier. Circle and trace those lazy, slow movements with that right arm. Reverse direction, circle it the other way. Invite your head to be really heavy, that left ear to drip towards your left shoulder. Noticing all the sensations. The next time that your arm comes back, pause, let it Drop back behind you, open your palm to the ceiling. Maybe feeling a stretch through your palm. We have all kinds of marmas, energy lines and points that meet in the hands and palms and fingers. Maybe noticing that. Bring those fingertips straight up and let that pull you all the way up to sitting, coming back to center. Inhale, bring the arms straight up overhead. Exhale, one more time. We'll come into those cactus arms, but the elbows nice and wide. Notice what happens in the tummy when you do that. Do you feel kind of that little bit of instability in the belly? See if you can draw the pelvic floor up and in, engage your core, and then allow the hands to come down. Good. Lift the arms up overhead. Point your heart to that right knee and then fold forward towards your right knee, letting your hands come to the floor wherever they do. Just bringing your heart towards your right knee. You might feel the twist that's happening in this movement, that the left shoulder is reaching towards that right knee. You're going to deepen this as much as feels comfortable. So really listening to the body, coming down and forward only as much as your body says yes to, and just enjoying the shape, whatever it looks like for you. Walking your hands forward to center, really letting the body curl and round forward over the legs. So just as we did with the seated cat-cow, really let the head come forward, chin to chest, curl, tuck and round. Root your hips. Let that rootedness of the tailbone unwind the spine all the way up. Roll those shoulders up and back. Pop tent fingers just behind the hips. Straight arms, lift the spine and open the heart. Release that, let the hands come up. Point your heart towards your left knee and bowing forward over that left knee. Experiencing the little twist of the right shoulder coming towards that left knee. Staying here for a few breaths, noticing if the shape changes as you hold. Walking your hands to center, just as we did before, curling the body forward, really allowing everything to relax and get heavy and drape and drip down, and then taking at least one huge deep breath in that most relaxed, heavy, curled space. Root your tailbone and let that rooted tailbone uncurl the spine, roll the shoulders up and back, fingertips just behind the hips to lift the gaze, lift the spine, open the heart, and then release, come to center. Rolling forward onto your hands and knees. You could bring a blanket underneath the knees if that feels better. Start by bringing the tops of the feet down, opening your fingers really wide, really open the hands up. Wrists are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. And just pause for a moment in that neutral space. Again, noticing how the stomach is working even here to maintain the spine. Wherever you're at in your breath cycle, exhale fully. Inhale, drop the belly, look up. Exhale, curl, tuck and round, chin to chest. Continue that a few more times. Cat, cow. Inhale, broaden the collarbones. Exhale, close the throat, chin to chest. Inhale, let that belly relax. Exhale, tuck the tailbone under, curl and stretch. Inhale. Exhale, tuck it under. We're gonna add the right leg moving with us if that feels okay for your body. So as the belly drops, we stretch the leg back. As we curl and round, we bring that knee towards your forehead. If that's too much for you, don't do it. Just keep that right knee down and continue as much range of motion as you can in the spine. If this feels strong and comfortable, then you can continue with that right leg. If you're feeling really strong and comfortable, you could even add that left arm. No matter what shape your body is taking, no matter which version of this feels right, keep the elbows soft. Don't lock them out to keep your balance. The next time that your leg comes out, pause and hold. If you've got the arm and leg, then hold that. If you have just your leg, hold that. And if you weren't adding the leg, go ahead and lift it up now. Pigeon toeing the leg, turning it in and lengthening from the crown of the head back through that right heel. Lift and hold, use the tummy. Bring your foot down, the toes are tucked under. Gently press that right heel back to stretch the calf. Breathe into that stretch. Relax your knee down. Shins and tops of the feet are down. If you can, keep the feet down and lift your knees. It's going to challenge the tummy, make the core start to wake up and warm up even a little more. So just enjoying that little gentle ab challenge. And release both knees down. Sink your hips back to your heels for child's pose. Stretching the arms forward as far as they'll go. Stretching the back, the low back, the whole back body. Pulling yourself back up to hands and knees. You may need to pull the wrists back a little bit so they come underneath the shoulders. We'll do that same sequence with the left leg. So again, exhaling wherever you're at in your breath cycle. As you inhale, drop the belly down, look up. Exhale, curl, tuck and round. Adding that left leg this time, if that feels right. And if it doesn't feel right, then just leaving that left knee down and continuing the cat-cow stretch without the leg. Remember, if you're feeling really strong and comfortable, you might add that right arm coming with you, extending out, drawing in. And any which way, no matter which version of this you're doing, really feel the throat open and close with the movement. Feel the spine arch back and curl forward. And make sure that you're not locking your elbows, that you're using your muscular strength to create the movement. The next time that you open up, pause and hold. So it might be hand and foot. It might just be foot. And again, if you didn't have the leg coming with you, go ahead and lift it up now. We're pausing and holding here, softening the elbows, strengthening the core, breathing deeply into the sensations. Let everything come to the mat. The left toes are tucked under. Gently push that heel towards the floor until you feel a stretch in that left calf, and then breathe into that stretch. Bring your left knee back to the mat. Tuck both toes under. We're going to do the core strengthening where we lift the knees up again. This time the toes are tucked under. That's the only difference. So pause and hold there, using the belly, maybe even feel it shake a little bit. And bring those knees down, bring the tops of the feet back to the mat. One more time, shift into that child's pose. Getting ready for a spinal sequence in which we move from child's into cat stretch, into a back bend. We'll start by curling up into that cat stretch. As you open your body, let the weight shift forward. So you're in a modified plank. Elbows graze the ribs as you come to the floor. Once you get there, lift the shoulders and the hands, squeezing through the low back. Plant the hands, push back into child's. Curl up from the center of the back. Shift your weight forward. Engage the core. Elbows graze the ribs as you come down. Once you get there, squeeze and lift. Hands to the floor, push back into child's. As you do that, let the low back open. We're squeezing the low back when we lift up, and then we're stretching it open as we come back into child's. Curl up, shift forward, control it down. Let your abs be the brakes here. Squeeze and lift. Hands down, child's. Curl it up, cat stretch. Shift it forward, modified plank. Elbows hug your ribs. This time come all the way down onto your belly and then bring your hands to the outsides of the mat. Elbows are wide, pointed straight up. Push your fingertips down to press the body as tall as feels comfortable. And again, be really mindful of the low back. If that's too much for your body, only come up as far as it gives you permission to. Release back to the mat. Let your chin come all the way down. Pause, relax the low back. We'll do this one more time. Push the fingertips down, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen the spine up. Let the heart open. Come halfway down, twist to look over that right shoulder. Push back up, tall and long. Come halfway down, look over that left shoulder. Pushing it back to center, lengthen your spine all the way down to the mat. Hands relax down, turn your head to the right so that your left ear is on the mat. Take your big toes in so that they touch and just relax and let go of everything. Little mini rest. Feel your breath pushing your belly into the floor. Hands by your sides, palms up. Lift the palms so that your arms come off of the mat. And now lift your shoulders, your head, your gaze. If it feels good, lift the legs too. If having the legs up is too much, if that crunches the low back, just let them stay rooted and down. So either way, lifting the shoulders and the palms no matter what. If it feels okay on the low back, adding the legs, and then lifting and squeezing everything as tightly as you can. One more deep breath, lift. And as you let it go, turn your head to the right. Bring those big toes together again. Right cheek on the mat and relax everything, mini rest. Lift your gaze, take the feet parallel again, plant your hands under the shoulders, push back into child's pose, letting your forehead rest either on the mat or a fist or two fists stacked, or a block if you have one. You want the forehead to be supported. Root down through the hips, through the feet, through the legs, through the big toes. You have two options here. You can either stay relaxed in this space, breathing deeply with that pressure on the forehead, or rooting those big toes even more, curling up. The knees are separated, the big toes are together. Pop fingertips behind your body, pressing the hips forward and up, letting the heart lift, the head drop back and be heavy, and the neck open. Picking whichever one of those works best for you. And all meeting up, coming into a standing forward fold at the front of the mat, taking your time to get there. That's who's really in charge here. So in that standing forward fold, allowing the weight of the upper body to be really heavy. The arms just dangle. You might even grab opposite elbows here. We're not trying to touch the toes. We're not trying to touch the floor. We're just inviting the backs of the legs to be open and long, breathing up the backs of the legs and exhaling along the length of the spine, out of the top of the head. Shake your head yes and no. Maybe give the body a little shake, a little bounce to release tension. Let your fingertips drip towards the floor if they're not already there. Inhale, slide your hands up your shins, lengthen until your spine is long and straight. And then exhale, let your body come back down. We'll do that a few more times. Inhale, engage the muscles of the low back. Exhale, release. Good, 2 more. This time we're going to roll it all the way up to standing. So bend your knees more, draw your belly button up and in, and slowly uncurl the spine, stack the vertebra all the way up and let those shoulders roll up and back a few times. Good. All right, so from standing, really feeling the feet root into the floor. Let your palms come forward. So palms are facing forward next to the legs. Heart is open, collarbones are broad. Imagine a string coming out of the crown of your head, lifting you tall. And then really feel the feet pushing down into the floor. Feel your weight pouring down through the support of your feet. We're going to use that rootedness, use that support of the feet to lift the right toes, the right leg, any amount. You might keep the right toe connected to the mat. You might lift the foot up so the toes are hovering over the floor. If you're feeling strong and steady, you may bring that leg to parallel, to an L shape. Once you've got the position with your right leg that feels good, bring the left hand up, the right hand stays down. The palms are still in towards the body, pulling the fingertips away from each other. And now really draw up through your body. This is one where it's really easy to just kind of hang out and sink down. Really lift the weight up as tall and strong as you can and feel that core working. Bring that back to the mat. Pause there for a moment. Find your balance. Breathe deeply. Notice any sensations. Find that rootedness in your feet. And this time, pour the weight into the right foot, lifting the left leg, whatever amount works for your body today. Once you have the leg in the position that feels good, right hand up, left hand down, palms in, fingertips pull away. Draw up through the body. Wherever you're at in your breath cycle, exhale fully. Inhale, draw the spine tall. Exhale, push down through that right foot. Inhale, lift and open the heart. Exhale, shoulders relax. One more time. Inhale, spine gets taller. Exhale, foot sinks deeper. Inhale, collarbone broaden. Exhale, shoulder blades down the back. And then one more full deep breath. Let everything come to the mat. Good job. Sweep the arms up overhead. Side bend to the right, keeping the arms to the outsides of the ears. Lift tall. Side bend left. Lift up tall. Open the heart. So lift the gaze, a little back bend. Let your hands split, coming back into the forward fold. Just as we did before, allowing the arms to drip, maybe grabbing opposite elbows.
Relaxing as much as you can here. Remember that breath cycle. Every time you inhale here, draw that inhale up the backs of the legs. Every time you exhale, let it release along the length of your spine off the top of your head. Let your hands drip down, bend your knees, draw the belly button up and in. Roll slowly up to standing, stack the vertebrae, head comes up last, open the shoulders at the top. Find that rootedness in the feet, the stability in your body. This time we're going to turn that into a tree pose. Very similar to what we just did. The weight pours back into the left foot, the right foot lifts up again. This time the leg is angled out to the side. So before we were right in front, now we're allowing that right knee to open to the side as much as feels comfortable. Lifting that right leg, whatever amount feels good for your body. Once you have found that, bring your arms up into those strong cactus arms that we did before. And again, notice if you're slumping down through the body, if you're kind of hanging out, lift and draw it up through the left leg, through the left knee, through the core, through every part of your body. And take all of that down to the mat. Pause at the center. Weight is equally sinking down through both feet. Find your stability. Reconnect with your breath. Feel your heart. Taking that to the other side, the weight pours into the right foot. The left knee turns out to the side and the left leg lifts up whatever amount feels right on this side for you today. Once you have found the position that feels good for that left leg, bring the arms into that cactus shape. Drop up from that right foot. Exhale wherever you're at in your breath cycle. Inhale, the crown lifts up. Exhale, sink down more through that right foot. Inhale, lift and open the heart. Exhale, shoulders relax down away from the ears. One more time. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, sink through the right foot. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, shoulder blades down the back. And one more breath here. Let everything come down to the mat. Sweep the arms overhead, side bend right again. As you do, this time split the arms. Twist to look up to the ceiling. Inhale, lift up out of the low back. Side bend left, split the arms and twist to look to the ceiling. Inhale, lift up, open the heart. Exhale, forward fold. Staying here for a few breaths again. Shake your head yes and no. Let the head be really heavy so the back of the neck is long. You can add that sound to your breath if that helps to focus the mind. Dripping your fingertips towards the floor. Bend your knees, draw your belly button in, roll slowly up to standing. Chin to chest, head comes up last, open the shoulders. So one more sequence of balance and core strengthening. This time the leg is going to come in front. So we're going to begin by finding our stability through both feet, anchoring and grounding down. Now we bring the right foot forward, either keeping the toes down, lifting that leg a little, or lifting that leg a lot. Arms come out to the sides, palms down. Lean back a little bit and notice how that makes the stomach work. So wherever that leg is at along that range,
As soon as you lean back, you should start to feel a little shaking. You could even bring your hands here to your tummy and feel how the muscles are fired up underneath your skin. Keep breathing. This is one where it's really easy to hold your breath. Lengthen from those right toes through to your head. Let the shaking happen. Bring everything back to the mat. Take a moment to find your balance, find your rootedness in both feet. Let that rootedness bring you through our last balance challenge, pouring the weight into the right foot, bringing the left toes forward, either keeping them down, lifting that leg a little, lifting that leg a lot. No matter where the leg is at, arms wide to the sides, palms down, and lean back. Find that strength in the belly. When you have found it, when you find that safe challenge, breathe into it. Shaking is great. After your next exhale, bring everything back to center. Sweep the arms overhead, this time an easy twist to the right. Right hand goes back, left hand goes forward, lengthen through the fingertips. Inhale, lift out of the low back, easy twist left. Inhale, lift up out of the low back. This time the hands drop back behind you, interlace your fingers if you can. If the hands and the fingers don't meet, you could either grab a wrist or simply squeeze them back towards one another. Once you have the hands towards one another or together, lift the gaze, hinge forward from the hips, keeping the hands together. One more forward fold. Let the body drip and relax. And here your hands can come wherever feels best. You can let them continue to drop forward as if they're going to come over your head towards the floor. You might lift them straight up to the ceiling, or you may even reach them back to the back of the room over the hips. So there's benefits to all of those. Maybe test them all out, see which one feels best. Once you've found it, pause and breathe into it. Head is heavy, back of the neck is long. If this becomes too intense at any point, release the fingertips. Letting your hands come down towards the floor. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, release. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, squeeze the back. Exhale, come forward. Coming all the way onto your back on the mat. Once you get there, hugging your knees, letting them bend, hug into center. Rock side to side. Feel that little massage on the low back. Pause with your legs center. Bring your hands by your sides, palms down. Engage the feet, so that means lift the toes up. Squeeze your legs together. Keep the legs squeezing together. Keep your low back glued down as you begin to press the legs towards an L shape, towards a 90 degree. As you do that, you may feel your tummy starting to shake. This is a super gentle core strengthener, and you may feel that immediately as you come into that position with the body, that the stomach is working, active and engaged. Draw the knees back in, feel the low back stretch open. Crossing the right shin on top of the left thigh, grab your left leg and pull it in until you feel the stretch in the right hip. If you're feeling really flexible and open, you may be able to grab that left shin to pull that left leg in. You may grab behind the left thigh, or you may even just let the weight of your legs pull forward. You may find another way or add a strap to pull that leg in. Doesn't really matter. There's no judgment with this. We just want the head and the upper body to be relaxed. So notice if you're
cranking up in order to pull in. You may need to add a strap so you can relax the upper body. If you don't have a yoga strap at home, a belt or a scarf is a great option. And you want to feel that stretch in the right hip. You can rock side to side or just hold it still. Breathe into that stretch. Are you breathing deeply? You can use that sound with your breath to focus the mind. Release the stretch. Hug the knees in again. Keeping your right knee in, extend that left heel towards the floor. And now bring the right hand overhead. Switch sides, extending the right heel towards the floor and the left hand overhead. You continue moving back and forth from side to side. You want your low back to stay glued to the mat the whole time and the stomach to be working and shaking as you do this. So if keeping that heel lifted is too much for your body, let it come down to the floor. That's a little bit more gentle version, letting that heel relax down. If you're feeling strong and comfortable here, keep that heel lifted, hovering above your mat. Either way, opposite hand and foot, palms are up. Low back is down, moving with your breath, engaging the core and feeling the little shake. Engage the sound with the breath anytime you need to focus the mind. The next time that your left knee comes up and in, go ahead and let that right heel relax to the floor. Bring your arms to the sides in a T position, or you can do cactus arms. Easy twist to the right. So we let those left toes connect with the left inner thigh, and then allow the body to twist open, inviting that left shoulder down towards the floor. And if your neck says yes, if your neck gives permission, turning your head to look to the left. As you hold here and breathe deeply, what wants to open up? What wants to release and let go? Bring your gaze back to the ceiling. Unwind from the twist. Draw that right knee in as well. Hug both knees, rock side to side. Feel the low back open and stretch out. Pause in stillness. Bring your fingertips behind your head, elbows really wide. Lift the feet, squeeze the legs together, push back into that L shape that we did before, that dead bug shape. Keep the low back glued down. This time, draw the knees in and squeeze your upper body up so the elbows touch to the outsides of the knees, and then open the shape up, elbows down, legs in a 90-degree angle. We'll do that a few times, curling and squeezing in, using our belly as the brakes to open the shape up. Keep that low back glued down. If at any point you feel pain or tension in the back, don't let the legs open up as far, just bring them out a little bit. You want the low back to feel comfortable and the stomach to be doing the work. The next time that your arms come back, just allow the legs to stay hugged in and relaxed. Bring that left heel towards the floor, right palm up overhead. And just as we did before, opening and closing the body. Opposite heel and wrist, moving away from each other. Keeping the heels hovering and lifted if that feels right and feels good. Is not creating a strain on the back. If that feels like it's too much, or if you feel like there's strain or the low back is coming up, let those heels rest down. Let them touch the floor before you change sides. Maybe even pause and relax for a moment before you ask the body to pick back up. The next time that right heel comes towards the floor, left heel. We're gonna let that left heel come all the way down, relaxing to the mat, hooking those right toes to the inside of that left thigh, and allowing your body to twist to the left. So that right leg comes across to the left, the right arm reaches out to the side, inviting that right shoulder down. If your neck says yes, turn your head to the right to look towards that right palm. Once you've found the shape that feels right, breathe into it, seeing what openness might want to come in here. Bring your gaze back to the ceiling. Unwind the body, just as we did before, curling up into that little ball. This time, let your nose come towards your knees as well. So you really curl into a ball, open the back of the body, lengthen the back of your neck as you come down. Crossing the left shin over the right thigh, grabbing your right leg and pulling it in. Remembering that we don't want the head and the neck to be strained. So if you need to add a yoga strap or a belt or a scarf to help the upper body stay relaxed as you pull that right leg in, you might grab in front of the shin or behind the thigh, either rocking side to side or just holding it still. This stretch is one of the most effective for relieving sciatica. It opens up the muscle group that the sciatic nerve runs through. So if you have sciatica or have had it in the past, this is a great way to open the low back and specifically that area. Notice what happens in your mind as we pause and slow down.
Release the stretch. Let your feet come wide on your mat. So either to the edges of your mat or perhaps just off the edges of the mat. So very wide, feet are down. Lift the hips up and tuck the tailbone under so that the low back is open as you bring the hips back down. You want that low back to feel open and broad. Arms out to the sides in the cactus arms that we've been doing. Allow your legs to windshield wiper left and right. It may feel very different from one side to the next. So just noticing how it feels. And the next time that your legs fall to the left, pause there. Just allow body weight to help open that up. If you're not feeling much stretch here, go ahead and bring that right foot an inch or two off to the side. If even that doesn't feel like much, you might be able to fold that right leg underneath you so that the top of your foot is down. That's a huge stretch for the front of that right leg, for the quadriceps. So wherever that right foot is at, find the one that works best for you. Now bring that right arm overhead, palm up. So you've got a straight line from the right fingertips through the shoulder, through the hip, through that right knee. Bend that right elbow, take that arm back into the cactus shape. Release that right leg, both knees come up. Before we switch to the other side, push down with the feet, lift the hips, tuck that tailbone under so that the low back is broad and open as the hips come back down. Let both legs fall to the right this time. It could feel really different on this side, so just take a moment to tune in. Don't rush straight into whatever version you did on the other side. If this is enough of a stretch, just hold it here. If you want a little more, walk that left heel to the left, out to the side a bit. If you want a lot more, maybe fold that left foot underneath you, top of the foot on the floor. Any which position that the left leg is in, bring that left arm overhead, palm up. Feel that line of energy from the left fingertips, through the shoulder, through the hip, through the knee. Release that stretch. Hug both knees in one more time. Let that low back open up. You might even pause and center and lift the hips a few times to really open that low back. Rock side to side. Pause, center, curl your nose towards your knees again. Curl into the tightest little ball that you can. And allow the back of the neck to lengthen as your head comes back down. Roll onto your right side, head supported by the right upper arm. And just pause here for a moment. Close your eyes. Let that left palm make contact with the floor. Use that left palm to press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Coming back as we started our practice together, in any position that you can sit comfortably for another minute. Once you get there, hands on the legs, palms down, eyes closed or gaze soft on the floor in front of you, lengthening the crown of the head towards the sky. Breathing deeply. Notice how you feel physically. Notice how you feel emotionally. Notice the state of your mind and how you feel mentally. And then releasing those observations and tuning into that witness part of you, that deepest part that experiences all of these things. In some way is all of these things, and in other ways is none of them. Bring your palms together in front of your heart and think of something in your life that brings you joy, something that makes you smile. It could be a person, an animal, a place, a cause, or just a feeling, just a sensation. Find that and let it fill your whole being. Feel your cells radiating with that joy. And now send that joy out for the benefit of all beings. Thanks so much for joining me for yoga today. Namaste.